answer the question, ¿Cuál es la fecha? What is the date? So a couple things to know here. When you are talking about the date in Spanish, typically you're going to say the number of the date and then de and then the month. So for example, we have el 25 de diciembre, December 25th. The 25 of December is what it's saying. Then we have el 4 de julio, July 4th. El 31 de octubre, October 31st. Now there is one separate thing you need to know here. If you're referring to the first day of something, instead of saying el 1 de enero, we're going to use the word primero, which means first. So you would say el primero de enero, January 1st. If you use the word uno, people would understand what you're saying, but it makes a lot more sense if you follow the rule and say primero. Cumpleaños. ¿Cuándo es su cumpleaños? Or, ¿cuál es la fecha de su cumpleaños? Mi cumpleaños es el 2 de septiembre. So as you can see, you're going to fill in when is your birthday with the number first and then the month. So typically you would say, mi cumpleaños es el, then fill in the number, de, then fill in the month. Or years. This gets a little bit tricky. So in English, if we are going to say a year, we typically divide it into with the first two numbers and then the second two numbers. So we would say 1945. However, in Spanish, we divide that same year into 1945. Just a different way of splitting up the number. So in Spanish, that would be mil for 1,000. 900 means 900. 45 means 45. ¿Cuál es su fecha de nacimiento? How do you answer this question? When is your birthday? You can use the formula up at the top here. Es el, then you fill in the number, de, fill in the month, de, you fill in the year. So in the example, es el 2 de septiembre de 1980. Or sometimes you might have someone ask you, ¿Cuándo nació usted? When were you born? And the answer to that would be, yo nací, I was born in the past tense, el 2 de septiembre de 1980. So I was born, the date, then the month, then the year. So one other important difference to note in Spanish is that when you are abbreviating dates using numericals, the date in Spanish is written first and then the month. So typically in English, if you are going to abbreviate a date, for example, February 5th, 1985, the 2 would come first for February, followed by the 5 for the day. However, in Spanish, they place the day first and then the month. So if you are working in a setting where you make appointments for someone or you're talking about birth dates, you need to always make sure you include the month so that the patient isn't confused or you don't get confused by their answer. So just remember that the order is switched around when talking about dates. That is all I have for you today. I hope that you learned something new today, and we will have lots of practice so that you can make these dates become familiar in your mind, and Spanish should be starting to flow a little bit more for you. Gracias.